嘅參與安省嘅選舉，因為呢種選舉咧，你嘅參與程度咧，直接影響到你喺嗰個社區裏面嘅聲音，所以咧我就號召我哋嘅group裏面啦，多啲參與。當然咧，你喺支持自由黨好、保守黨好，作為我哋團體嚟講唔係好 care， 但係你最緊要參與。作為我個人嚟講咧，因為自由黨安省自由黨咧，佢而家就大多數政黨啦，係咪？我哋希望佢能夠更多為華人做事，所以咧我呢次補選咧就比較支持佢。我覺得而家仲係唔係好足夠，即係華人參加政治咧，仲係大多數人仲係覺得咧，即係政治就係高高在上，同我哋嘅利益唔係好大。咁咧，我覺得咧喺一個西方國家嘅話咧，你冇一種聲音出嚟，就總係俾人遺忘。所以咧，我就希望更多嘅人咧能夠改變呢種狀態，起碼我哋參與。
One of my favorite colleagues. But why is George one of my favorites? Where are you, George? Where's George? There it is. I've known George for many, many years. And when in early, can you hear me? Yes. can't hear music because other people are talking. And it's my job to make sure everybody settles down before George speaks. Anyway, I've known George for many, many years, but when I decided to run in 2003, George was one of the first people who called me. And George promised me that he would be there for me, and he followed through. So George was out for town hall meetings. George offered to help me in whatever way I needed help. And you know, that's what George is doing for Bas as well. And George is actually very, very familiar with some of the kinds of challenges that we experience in the Scarborough area. So who better to be helping Bas and supporting Bas and supporting someone like myself in the Scarborough area than George. George, as a member of Provincial Parliament for Toronto Centre Rosedale, understands diversity. You don't get to ride much more diverse than Toronto Centre Rosedale, just like all Scarborough riders, perhaps in some ways even more diverse. But George, as our Minister of Health and Long-Term Care, came to the table for Scarborough very, very early in the game. In Scarborough, we had a coalition working for more than 10 years, lobbying for another community health centre for the Scarborough area. And more than a year ago, George announced 2 satellite healthcare centres, the first increase in any healthcare in the Scarborough area. So that was another example of George listening to our community here in Scarborough. Last week, I had the very distinct pleasure and privilege of leading George Cinnamon in Toronto, and he was in Ottawa to announce the first, that Ontario will be the very first province in this country to screen for sickle cell anemia. Thank you, George. Now, this was not the first announcement of newborn screening expansion. Early in September, George announced that our province, having had screening for 2 disorders for the past 27 years, only 2, had expanded by 19 the number of disorders that newborns will be screened for. And then last week he added 6 more, including sickle cell. And why do I mention that? I mention that because people in this room, just looking around this room, I know that you all understand the importance of screening for sickle cell. And I want to thank you, George, for listening to our community. And I had the pleasure of meeting over the name of Lily Johnson when I made that announcement in Scarborough last week. And Lily told me that she was one of the founders of the Sickle Cell Association 25 years ago because as a public health nurse, she saw children dying around her with no help, no understanding of what this was all about. And George listened. So I'm accustomed to hearing George talk, but I also know George listens. And it's my distinct pleasure to invite George to come up and tell us.
My fellow Liberals, more than 20 years ago at the top of an escalator at the Metropolitan Toronto Convention Centre, I had the tremendous privilege as a 20-year-old kid from Etobicoke with a full head of hair, well, nearly a full head of hair, to meet a man named Alvin Curley. For a long, long time, for 20 years, he represented this community well, and he represented Ontario well. It will take a big man to fill the big shoes of Alvin Curley, and I know such a man. His name is Bas Balkissoon. and the progress of making our great city and province even better. It will take a big man. And I know such a man, Bas Balkissoon, because I have had the opportunity, as all of you have had, to witness the work that he has done. At the same time, supporting the development and growth in local community, being active in community sport, and at the same time, speaking up as a man of integrity at Toronto City Council. The work that he has done. The work that he has done, the track record that he has, is the surest sign of the accomplishments that he can continue to make and the role that he can play in making our government in Toronto, for Toronto, and in Ontario, an even stronger one. Because the reality that we know, we're gathered here in Scarborough, Liberals from coast to coast to coast of Scarborough and from broader parts of the GTA. Reflective of the incredible diversity that is the strength of our city, with representatives, provincial and federal, who are here. We are a strong team, and we are a hard-working team. Because the reality of governing, and our party knows this well from our experience nationally and our current work provincially, that governing is not for the faint of heart. It requires determination. It requires leadership. It requires vision. And we have a leader in our province, Dalton McGuinty, who is leading us forward, who currently makes sure that Ontario's future prosperity is secure by advancing the interests of Ontario in China. But we know as well, all of us know, that we have much more work to do. And that determination requires people who are so committed to their community that they get up every day, not just Monday to Friday, but every day, and seek to turn their local knowledge, their connection to community, their passion for a better way of life, to turn all of those things into a sense of opportunity for the people that they represent. Scarborough Rouge River is a special place. And accordingly, Scarborough Rouge River requires someone special who will wake up every morning and not just work in the interest of a local community, but respect and reflect that local community, to be its voice in places where important decisions are being made. Our government is a government that is proud of the work that we've done, and we're privileged every single day to serve the people of Ontario. But we need to make sure that the people of Scarborough Rouge River continue to have a strong voice in a government that is the first to acknowledge that we have more work to do. My colleague Gerard Kennedy has made good progress alongside other members of our government in advancing the cause of public education, because Liberals know that public education is at the core of hope and at the core of opportunity. We've worked hard as a government to enhance the quality of health services because we know that a public health system is the best expression of Canadian values. Our Premier and our Minister of Economic Development, Joe Cordiano, are working hard to promote a sense of opportunity so that the best skilled people in the whole wide world can have the best jobs. But we know on all of these counts, we have more work to do. I invite all of you to join with me over the course of the next several weeks to go further than you've gone today. You've done an amazing thing by digging into your wallet and writing a check to demonstrate the strength of your support for Bas Balkissoon. But we have no choice as Liberals, determined in our mission to bring every ounce of energy that we have, to make sure that in the days between now and Election Day, we leave no stone unturned. We cannot fail to knock on any door in the riding of Scarborough Rouge River, because there are people there that need to hear the Liberal message of hope and opportunity, a Liberal message that is determined and passionate and committed to making sure that the people of Scarborough Rouge River are part of this great province of Ontario, that they're well represented in our government. For my part, I can't think of no greater privilege than public service. And for my part, I can think of no one that I am more privileged and hopeful of having the opportunity to stand alongside at the Ontario Legislature than a man that I have come to know well, a man that I respect immensely, a man that I am proud to call a friend, a man who, like all of us, is a great Liberal. And accordingly, I am so pleased on behalf of our government and our party to have the chance to say to all of you tonight, who have demonstrated by your attendance just how smart you are, that if we work together, if we do all of those things that we know we must do to win successful campaigns, then this riding, Scarborough Rouge River, will have the presence of mind, will have the capacity, will have for the future what it has had for these quite a number of years. And that is some of the highest quality political representation that can be found. Bas Balkissoon is such a man. I appreciate tonight the support that you've shown for him. Let's make sure that in the next few weeks we leave no stone unturned, and we make sure that the people of Scarborough Rouge River enjoy the service that they deserve, the kind of quality service that Bas Balkissoon is going to provide. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It gives me a tremendous pleasure to be able to thank George for his interest tonight. I mean, George, as a member of Cabinet, one of the principal architects of what we're achieving in government today, needs no real recognition here, save and except to say that he handles a portfolio that contributes about half of the tax dollars in the province of Ontario and ensures that we're going to spend those dollars effectively. He's changing, transforming healthcare in the province. He's driving healthcare into primary care so we can get it close to home and use those dollars effectively throughout the province of Ontario and meeting the needs of every Ontarian. And Marianne Chambers referenced the work he's doing here in Scarborough in his first couple of years, and that work is being extended throughout the province of Ontario. It gives me a great pleasure as a former municipal politician to be here this evening and extend my support. We've known each other on and off over the years in various work, so I know the accomplishment that you've achieved and what you're going to bring to Queen's Park. You'll have a number of municipal colleagues here who bring that experience to Queen's Park, and we're looking forward to having you sitting beside. As a matter of fact, Bas, I've got a special seat saved for you, and that special seat is literally right beside me. Now, the good news is, bad news story, Bas. The bad news, something, we're in what's called the rump. And your friend Lorenzo, he's with me. We're on the other side of where the majority of our members are. We're across from the ministers. But we've got a group over there that rather respects what we do. The good news is, we can look across at George and the rest of the ministers that I happened to see on Gansfield a few minutes ago. I see Jerry Phillips and a few others here. We can look across at the ministers face to face. And we get to heckle the ministers, and they get to see us doing it. So if you want to get a message to George, or a message to Marianne, or a message to Jerry, or any of the others who are here, you can do it directly, and they know what you're saying. None of that behind the back stuff. You're getting to talk to them face to face. So I'm really looking forward to the next few weeks. I'm looking forward, Bas, to having you there. I'm joined this evening by members of our riding associated table. We're going to get some time in the next couple of weeks here to knock some doors with you and try to make a difference in this election. Take the numbers from where they might be at 70, 75, 80% and climb up into the 85% rate so that when you arrive at Queen's Park, they know you're there for a real reason, and they know the Liberal government of Ontario is there for a real reason. Bas, congratulations on the nomination. Look forward to working with George. Great job you're doing. Continue with your colleagues in Cabinet, and we're there to support each and every one of you.
I know you're all waiting to wait, and we haven't even said grace yet. But I want to call upon the Honourable Jerry Phillips to introduce the absolutely finest candidate we could ever have had or expected here in Scarborough Rouge River. Jerry Phillips, the Minister of Government Services.
We dream of events like this where it's overflowing. My apologies to the ones that we had some trouble finding tables, but to say it, I had no idea Baz had so many friends. Just in case nobody else does it, I want to make sure I introduce some of my other colleagues in case it doesn't happen. I think Brad Newgood is going to be introduced later, but I'll introduce him now. Brad Newgood. Our Minister of Energy is here, Don Canfield. Terrific job. We're all doing a terrific job. And a very important portfolio. Our Minister of Citizenship and Immigration, Mike Cole, is here. Dealing with that issue. And Shabib Quadri's here too. Where's Shabib? Right here. My apologies. Just put your hand up. Oh, Marianne Chambers has already spoken, Donna. You were late. And a couple of councillors, maybe others. Jerry Aldabell is here. Jerry. Very well. The tireless Rouge person. Glenn was here. He's back. There he is. Glenn the bear maker. You know, if we were trying to find the perfect candidate, you could hardly describe a better kind of background than this one. Somebody who knows the community, president of the community association. I used to ride my bike around and I go through these fields where people were practicing soccer coach, Ontario, soccer coach for provincial champions, I might say. But a community activist, somebody, property taxes used to be disproportionately high in this area. George Smitherman, they were disproportionately low in George's area. They were disproportionately high in this area. And Baz fought tirelessly to get justice there. Then went on the Scarborough Council, did a fabulous job there. And then when the new amalgamation took place, went on the new Toronto Council. And Baz was the budget chief here in Scarborough when it was the Scarborough Council. Terrific job there. And then at City Hall, dealing with lots of issues, and perhaps one that many of you would remember is it was he who kind of probed away at the MMP issue and brought that to light, and that led to some substantive changes. So as I say, we could have kind of scripted a better candidate. Before I call him up, the election actually is 2 weeks from 2 days away. And what we need from everybody here is he and I and everybody appreciate your financial support, but we also need your help in making sure that we get out, get Baz's message out, and on election day, get every single vote out. I know this, that the public do not want to be taken for granted. We have to earn every single vote. We have to say, we need your vote. We need your vote to keep doing the things that we think are good for Ontario. Baz needs your support. So I appreciate this terrific crowd here. It's beyond my wildest expectation, but we need your help for another 16 days, culminating in 2 weeks this Thursday in the by-election, so that 8 o'clock, I think the polls close at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock, we've gotten every single vote we can out. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your help. And finally, my best thanks and most heartfelt thanks is a thanks to Baz for agreeing to be our candidate, following the footsteps of my good colleague Alvin Curley. It was 20 years ago that I was his campaign chair, so it's not deja vu. But I'm very proud to introduce our candidate, and we work hard, the next member for this riding, Bas Balkissoon.
Speech, and I hope I don't bore you. But I wanted George to stay with us. George says he was a young fellow with a full head of hair. I still have a full head of hair, so I hope I don't lose it after this. There are another colleague of mine from the City of Toronto Council that's here. I know I saw him in the hallway, and I think you're Councilor Michael Thompson. Where are you? I know his FP Dan McCabe was going to be here also. Dan's still here. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Liberals. I stood before many of you on the night of October 8th with a great sense of duty and responsibility as I accepted the nomination as a Liberal candidate for Scarborough Rouge River. Tonight, 12 days into the campaign, I stand before you with even greater sense of duty and responsibility. And I stand before you with a tremendous sense of gratitude. As you know, I've been a city councillor for 17 years, and I can say with certainty there is one very distinct difference between municipal politics and provincial politics. I never had a fundraiser, ever. You are not supported by a team of Liberals, Conservatives, or NDPs. If you're good, you're backed by the will of your constituency, your family, your allies, and your friends. And I'm really proud and happy to say my family is here, my daughter is missing, but my wife is sitting on my table there, my wife Kaya, please stand up. And my two sons are here, Ian and Anthony. Stand up. Unfortunate. But at the end of the day, when you make a decision in the council chambers, you're judged by your individual performance. You have to go it alone. When I fought for current value assessment, as Jerry had mentioned, I went it alone. When I identified the details of the MFP fiasco, I stood on it alone. I did this because the people that elected me to work towards their best interest. I was judged by my constituents based on 100% of my performance and achievements. My commitment to the people was one of hard work, integrity, and trust. In 17 years in office, I made only one promise, and I challenge anybody to read all my election brochures. The only promise I made ever was to work hard in the best interest of our community, and I can honestly say today, I have delivered to that community. I look around the room this evening and I see many friends who have been a source of strength and support for me both professionally and personally over the years. I look around and I see many new faces also, and many new friends, I hope. People I respect, people with integrity, people who share a sense of purpose, something. When I accepted the nomination to be the Liberal candidate on October 8th, I accepted one very important thing. I have become something that is bigger than any one man or any one woman. I have made the critical and crucial decision to become part of a vision. That's a vision of a team known as the Liberal Party of Ontario, led by Premier Dalton McGuinty. That vision is to build a better Ontario, a place we can all be proud of. It is said that stronger communities leads to stronger towns and cities, and stronger towns and cities leads to a stronger Ontario. That vision means we must build a stronger and safer law firm, a stronger and safer agent court, to have a stronger and safer Scarborough Rouge River, where our children have safe places to play, learn, and grow. A vision that includes communities that have the programming and the resources needed so that our young people are involved and engaged citizens. A community where its citizens receive quality public health care in a timely manner. A community that promotes the diversity of its citizens and provides the tools needed so that their skills can be developed and utilized. A vision that includes jobs and investments in infrastructure, roads and business, keeping Scarborough Rouge River a truly competitive and productive riding in this province. This new venture means that I must take the transition from fixing the problems of potholes, garbage not picked up, traffic lights not working or when needed in the community, and the odd barking dog call, to the one of creating broad policies and legislation that serves all the people of this great province of Ontario. And so I stand before all of you today, political colleagues, business associates, friends and family, with a tremendous sense of purpose. I believe the skills and knowledge of municipal government gained over the past 17 years has been well prepared to make this move to the next level of government, where I can make a contribution on your behalf to build a better Ontario. I thank all of you for the recognition of my work at the municipal level and the confidence and encouragement you have provided in helping me make this decision to seek this new position. I wish to thank all of you for being here tonight and supporting the campaign financially. Provincial campaigns are much more expensive than city council. My first city council campaign cost me $5,000. Today, city council campaigns cost anywhere up to $40,000 or $50,000. I don't know what this one will cost, but certainly I know it's not going to be $40,000 or $50,000. I would like to thank Minister Jerry Phillips and his excellent staff for their patience and the efforts in organizing tonight's events. On behalf of the people of Scarborough Rouge River, I would like to say a big thank you to Minister George Smitterman for his contribution to the campaign by organizing an event that took place last week. And also for him agreeing to be here tonight as our guest speaker. I would also like to thank all the provincial MPPs and ministers that are here tonight. I don't want to mention names because I may miss somebody, because I know some people have arrived without my knowledge. And I want to thank all my council colleagues for their support and for being here. And their presence here means a lot to me tonight. I will close by reminding everyone that there are still 18 days left on the campaign. Don't you believe one word of anybody telling you that we're doing very well. I want you to think there's still a lot of work to be done, and we want to deliver this win in a tremendous way to see all of you providing some physical assistance on the ground, the canvas, every door in this ride that is still needed. And I hope to see all of you on the campaign trail. Thank you very much.
That's on behalf of everyone present here tonight, and on behalf of the Liberal caucus, and on behalf of the Liberal government, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for putting your name forward, for putting yourself through this process, which I just went through a few years ago. As you know, Bas, we were elected on the same day, back in November of 1988. So we had the same length of time on service. And I took the jump to provincial politics in 2003, October of 2003, and you're doing it shortly afterwards. And as Wayne Arthur said earlier, we already have space for you in the run section. And Bas, I'm going to tell you this now because you'll remember this later. And in the days when the Liberals federally were in the opposition, there were 4 known members that were in the Rat Pack. And there's Sheila Cox, Don Boudria, and there were 2 other members in there as well, John Nziata and Brian Coben. They were in the Rat Pack. And presently in the back, heckling and really getting on the nerves sometimes of John Tory and especially Howard Hampton are 3 of us. Myself, Brad Dugan, and Wayne Arthur. So once you join us Balkissoon, we'll have a new Rat Pack. And the community health and heckling, just ask Wayne or Brad or myself, and we'll teach you how to heckle. A lot different than city council, and a lot more fun too. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to thank Bas for putting his name forward on behalf of the party. It's a team effort. It's very important because we've had 3 by-elections so far. We had one in Hamilton, we were not successful. We had one more recently, which John Tory got elected in, which we did not win, of course. And this will be the first one, which, if everyone does their work, we will win. We want to send that message back to inspire support for all of that. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I've spoken long enough, and everyone's hungry, and I just want to call Sylvia Ducey forward. Sylvia, I think I saw Sylvia a bit earlier, over here, just to bring in the location, and then we can start our meal. And once again, thank you, Bas, and welcome Sylvia Ducey forward to get the location.
Let us pray. Our Father, we thank you for your many blessings in our lives and for your continued faithfulness to your children. We are especially grateful for the gift of this extended season of unity and peace. Tonight we gather in this room at this community dinner for a special purpose, to support and encourage a friend who is willing to assume a leadership role and to serve in the government of our province. We thank you for such people who are not afraid to stand up for what is right and who continue to demonstrate the will to serve their fellow men
through the democratic process of governance to serve in these difficult and uncertain times. We ask that you bless and guide his efforts and strengthen him for the rigors of the election campaign. Provide the wisdom he will need and grant him success in his endeavors. Help him to always remember that we can lead well only if we understand how to serve well. Please bless this food as we share this pleasant communal meal together. Please use it to nourish our minds and our bodies and strengthen us in your service. And may we continue to remember those who are less fortunate than ourselves.